One of our winter tasks is to go into the colonies around December 1st and apply an oxalic acid drench. In this video presentation, we're going to also apply colony wraps, do some note taking, and we're removing Apivar that went in quite late this year. In the first minute of this video, we'll just highlight the tasks that we're doing today in the colonies. And then following that, there'll be more detailed information as we progress throughout the day. During this beautiful winter day, I'll be going through about 96 colonies and applying oxalic acid drench. That's the main task to control veromites. It starts with preparing the oxalic acid drench, which is 60 grams of oxalic acid in 1700 grams of 1:1 sugar syrup. And here the oxalic acid is being dissolved in warm water and then added to the syrup, mixed together, and then poured into a smaller container for ease of transporting around the bee yard. We use burlap for smoker fuel, mostly. Sometimes cardboard, sometimes sawdust, but burlap is our preferred choice. It burns nice, it's controlled burn. And these burlap bags we're cutting up, these are unused sandbags. The industry has switched to nylon, and so these burlap sandbags you're able to get for a good price. I keep the smoker in a metal toolbox in the back of the truck so that it doesn't smell up the cab. And I like to keep some partially burnt fuel in the smoker to help it light quicker the next time. So you'll see that just a small spark lights the previously burnt sack, and the smoker fuel just burns quickly because it's such dry, and the partially burnt smoker fuel just takes off. So I like to prepare the yard before I go into the bees. So I'm just laying out the tarps and the bungees, and then I'll bring out the oxalic acid and fill the syringe full of oxalic acid mix so that I'm ready to apply it to the bees as soon as the colonies are open. That way I can do my work and close the colonies up as quickly as possible. In this yard, colonies are 2 per pallet, 2 colonies side by side per pallet. So before we go into one, we smoke both, just make sure that the bees are acting calm in both colonies. And here I'm applying the oxalic acid right away. You have to practice that 5 cc's per seam of bees with water before you go into the bee yard. And we're applying up to 50 cc's per strong colony. This is a pretty good colony. You can tell by the volume of bees on the top, as well as the bees on the inside of the lid. Now here, I'm just separating the frames a bit to remove the Apivar strips, which I toss on the ground and pick up later. And then just repeating the tasks on the next colony. and then all the way through the yard. This speeds up. You don't have to sit through watching all colonies being worked. And at the end of the yard work, clean up, and then I should take a photograph. This second yard, the colonies are 4 onto a pallet. They're good bees in this yard. This yard was shared with horses, and there hasn't been a problem in the last couple of years with horses and the bees. Usually there's a problem with cows in the yard. They rub up against the colonies, but the horses just seem to keep their distance. Usually with all the prep that it takes to be efficient in the yards, you get 2 yards in before lunch and then 3 yards after lunch. So 5 yards is a typical day. We could, if the weather is great and if there's a helper, we can do quite a bit more, double that amount. But by myself on a nice December day is, it's just relaxing to do 5 yards. That's a 4,000 watt inverter, which I use for oxalic acid sublimation. This third yard, the bees were also quite good. And again, these are 4 colonies per pallet, unlike the first yard, which was 2 colonies per pallet. I didn't bring the wraps that go over 4 colonies, but I'll come back a day or 2 later and add the wraps. This fourth yard, back to 2 colonies per pallet. This is not a good yard. The bees are not that healthy, and I think there were 4 dead outs on this yard, probably from Varroa, but I won't know until I pull them apart and have a look at them. That'll be in a future video. A couple things. I really like the hives on stands. Those are 16-inch high stands, easier on the back. And I like the colony tag. So there's a serial number on every colony, and the serial number corresponds to a barcode if I ever put a barcode scanner on my phone. So note taking is specific to a colony, which is a lot of work, and we don't do it in all our colonies, but for our research colonies, it's really super helpful. When you run 2 colonies per pallet, then it's manual loading, and that's pretty efficient until about 500 or 600 colonies, and then it pays to get a forklift and putting the colonies 4 on a pallet and just moving it all with machinery. These colonies have entrance reducers that are fixed on with 2 screws. The screws stay with the entrance reducers when they come off, and they're usually on and usually get applied late October, and they don't come off until late April. Just making a notation on this colony that reminds me it's a the best colony in the yard. So I would like to look later to find out where did the queen come from? How come it's doing so well and the other colonies are not doing so well? And this last yard of the day is a new yard for us. This is our first year with it. It's a shared yard with tenants and RV storage. So we don't know how it's going to do. The area is really good. So lots of blackberries, lots of fir trees in the area. So we're hoping that we get some good results from this yard. These bees, as all our bees, will stay in their yards until late April, and then they all go to blueberries for pollination. And then after blueberries, most of them come back to the wintering yards, but some go to raspberry pollination, cranberry pollination, and other uses. We have bees in hotels. We have bees in community gardens that we donate to the municipality that we're in.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about bees, here are a few ways Honeybee Center can help. First, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more beekeeping tips and tricks delivered straight to your inbox. Interested in our education programs and products? Check out honeybeecenter.com to learn more. For beekeeping updates and a behind-the-scenes look, you have lots of options to follow us on social media. You can find us at Honeybee Center Kids on Instagram, as well as at Honeybee Center on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.